Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 14th of April, 2020, and the time is 13:03 here in the UK. We're starting a little late. I had some technical problems, but I got them resolved. So let's dive right into it. Let me move the chat over to the correct screen. And there we go. That way I can see what you lovely people are saying. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups on the daily and the 1 hour. We're going to be doing multiple things. Let's start with the daily because that's easiest. I'm already in 2 trades on the daily. They're not going terribly well, but they're not going bad either. I was looking for a breakout. Right now, it looks like we got a sharp move down on EURGBP and USDCAD. In fact, I'll mark these green because they are active trades. I showed these to the forum yesterday. So what I was looking for was a breakout to the short side. We did get a push down, but it has since kind of pulled back, and it's not really doing much. I mean, it's not going horrible. It's just not really going well. I'm not going to close out or anything. These are daily chart trades. So I plan to leave them open for a few days and just see how it all plays out. If there's any questions about this, let me know. These are just breakout trades. So same as we were doing on the 1 hour chart, but they're just blown up to the daily chart. They work pretty well, generally speaking. They don't always take off right away. A good example of a breakout that didn't take off right away was this AUDUSD long here. Now, this AUDUSD long could have been entered rougher. I'm not going to calculate it exactly. I'll just give you a rough kind of entry. So you could have entered it around about here with a stop loss around about here maybe. And a target up here. It would still be open. Keep in mind that this is a daily chart trade, so we're looking we don't mind if it runs for a long time, is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, it's not uncommon for these to trigger your entry and then stick around that point for a while. They're not. What I'm trying to say is they're not as explosive as the 1 hour chart trades, where we get in and within 3 or 4 hours it's hit our target or almost hit our target. These, they tend to take a little bit longer. So like this AUDUSD example here, which is going quite well. I didn't enter this one, but it's just an example, which is going quite well. You know, you would have had to wait several days to get into this position where it's going quite well. So all I'm trying to say is these aren't going fantastic right now, but doesn't mean I'm going to close out or panic or anything. So yeah. I don't have support resistance for GBPUSD because it's just a bit too messy. Stephen, yeah, it's okay to go back to the day. Well, I mean, what does okay mean, really? I am going back to the daily charts because I like trading the daily charts. During the last recession, 2008, I traded the daily charts quite a bit. So for me, daily chart trading is something I have done in volatile markets successfully in 2008, 9, and 10. I took a little bit of time off from the dailies just because things were just too crazy for a period where we would just get insane spikes all over the place. And also I needed to give charts a bit of time for support and resistance areas to form. What I mean by that is I'm trading off of these areas on this chart, for example, AUDJPY. Now, I didn't really have these areas until 2 or 3 weeks of this kind of crazy volatile movement. If I was using support resistance areas from the weeks before that, like this, for example, you would see that they're way too closely spaced together. Actually, it probably would have been one here and one there. they're way too closely spaced together. So I needed some more data. So I took a break from the daily charts for a while for several reasons, but now I'm back to trading the daily charts. So we've got 2 open trades from yesterday that I shared on the forum. Let's look for some more trades. AUD New Zealand looks somewhat interesting. This is another example of a good breakout here on AUD New Zealand, by the way. And this one also, by the time you entered, it would have taken a little while to take off. So the reason I'm showing you guys this is just so you understand why it makes sense to hold on to these trades. So let's say you enter this AUD New Zealand long breakout, right? Once it broke this green line. Your entry is here. Then the first day it broke it, hit your entry, and it didn't really do much. The second day I'm just going to move this so it's easier to see. The second day it started off by dropping down a little bit and just sitting around your entry point before starting to move up. Now, I'm not saying that EURGBP and USDCAD, the trades that I'm in and I imagine a fair few of you are in, are going to do the exact same thing. These could just sit around this point forever, or they could just move up and hit my stop loss today. All I'm saying is it makes sense to hold on to trades and not just panic and exit out of a trade because it's not moving in your direction right away. We'll go back to AUD New Zealand in a sec. Well, there was a GBPUSD breakout that I didn't take yesterday. I just wasn't crazy about this one. Is anyone? No, I don't think anyone's in this one. I would have heard from you guys if you were in. Yeah, I'm not seeing much new stuff other than AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand looks interesting. It's moving up quite quickly. If it pushes through here and breaks this green line, I'll be looking for an entry. Oops, there we go. So someone like this, but it's hard to say until it happens how I'll actually trade it. This is just like a rough guess. Test. Should be working now. I don't know what caused that, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what you missed or what you heard or whatever. Basically, my response to the question from Maharashi is that no, I do not expect to see anything. I don't try to make plans on what might happen, and then there's just too many possibilities of what could happen. So I'm not expecting to see anything. I'm just going to react to what happens. Yes, so to summarize, all I'm looking for right now on the daily, besides the trades that I'm already in, is AUD New Zealand. No other clear setups that I see in terms of breakouts. There is a reversal setup forming. I'm not that confident trading reversals at the moment just because of market conditions, but I might be tempted to get into a reversal here on Euro AUD. I'm going to keep my options open and see if it's feasible based on how it closes today. So I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, beyond that, guys, I don't really see much on the dailies. So just to summarize, Euro AUD, potential long reversal from this support area. AUD New Zealand, potential short reversal. It could happen, but what I'm really looking for is the potential long, which would be a breakout from this resistance area. So there's just kind of two options here that can happen. Let's just keep an eye on it, see what happens when it really gets into this resistance area. Yeah, we'll get to the 1 hours. I just wanted to do dailies first. Right, so 1 hour chart. There was a long trade I shared here yesterday that I entered. Just a pretty simple breakout trade. This one ended up hitting target overnight. That was a decent setup, but that one's over now. I don't see any other potentials on AUD New Zealand immediately. Did anyone enter the AUDUSD long breakout? Because I shared this one too. I didn't end up entering this one. Well, I didn't really share it. I just said to you guys that I'm looking out for a long breakout here, but I just never ended up entering because I just got busy, really. This one worked out quite well too. With all this faffing about, my coffee has gotten cold, and I hate cold coffee. And I'm going to keep drinking it anyway. Not seeing much on your AUD, so... damn it. I have to go back to the dailies. What had... we need a new way to mark these pairs, because when I'm marking for a potential daily chart trade, it'll become marked across all the lists. Marking isn't exclusive to a single time frame, so it's going to get confusing. So what I'm going to do is potential daily chart trades I'm going to mark as orange, and potential 1 hour chart trades I'll mark as, I don't know, blue. And if there's a potential, this is going to get confusing, if there's a potential trade on both the 1 hour chart and the daily chart for that pair, then I'll mark it purple. So yeah, let's try that. Let's see how that works. Oops, why is that so big? There we go. So definitely potential for a long on AUDUSD still. Very much like yesterday's setup. I know this is zoomed out a bit too much. I'll zoom back in. So very much like yesterday's setup. Separate layout doesn't work. It doesn't affect, that's what I'm trying to say. Separate layout doesn't affect the pairs list here. It should, but it doesn't. So yeah, I'm just looking for a potential break through this this green line here. So a breakout trade here on AUDUSD, kind of like yesterday's breakout trade. But like I said, yesterday's one I didn't end up entering. I entered AUD New Zealand instead. But we could potentially enter one today if it manages to push up and break through here, something like that. We won't really know what the setup will look like until it gets there. This is just a kind of a rough guess. Let's have a look for some more. Yeah. Yeah, GBP AUD is not trending. It's very much stalling on this support area. So I'm not going to do anything with GBP AUD for setups. We're only looking for pairs that are actually trending on the daily chart, nor is EURGBP, nor is USDCAD really, because they're kind of, based on today so far, they're kind of stalling out, as you guys know, because we're in the trades, and they're kind of stalling out. So until they start to move down again, I'm not really looking for 1 hour chart shorts. Also, I don't really want to double up on trades. If I'm on EURGBP short on the daily, then I'm entering on the 1 hour too. I may as well enter 2 positions on the daily kind of thing. It's not something I personally like to do. It doubles your risk essentially. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the daily first to see if it's trending well. And if it's trending well, then I'll look at the 1 hour for a potential breakout setup. Hopefully that makes sense. Redo some support resistance areas. GBPUSD is trending quite well. Definite potential for a long breakout here on GBPUSD. Let's mark this as blue. Be looking to get in above this green line here. If it breaks out above it, essentially above this high that was set this morning. If it breaks out above that, I'll be looking to enter. So the entry would be a few pips above. Something like that. What was I up to? I think GBPJPY. Whoa, USDCHF is moving down quite nicely. Damn it, we missed the breakout on this one. I wasn't watching the charts and I missed the breakout. Anyone in this one? That's a problem with breakout trading. You don't check your charts for a few hours and you miss a ton of trades. What about GBPUSD? It's trending. Yeah, it's trending down, but what I'm looking for to take breakout trades is a really strong daily chart trend. This is technically speaking trending down, but for the last 3 days it's been moving sideways, which doesn't really encourage me for taking a breakout trade on the 1 hour, because it just doesn't have the kind of movement I'm looking for to push and hit my target. So back to USDCHF. That's going quite well. I missed that one, unfortunate. USDJPY, very similar setup that you guys seem to be in. I also missed that one. I've just been distracted today. Trending up. Right, so you're talking about like the weekly chart trend. There could be different trends on a pair, right? So if you look at the 1 hour, you would clearly be able to make an argument that it's trending down. If you look at the 5 minute, you would be able to make an argument that it was trending down here, trending up here, trending down there, trending down here, started to trend up there. If you look at the monthly, you would clearly say that it's trending up, but it's been trending up since 2016. So obviously since 2016 on the daily, it's been moving up and down. I wouldn't say it's trending up on the daily. I just don't see any conceivable argument for it trending up on the daily. Since February. So we're going on, no, literally, since the start of Feb. So we're talking 2.5 months. It has barely gained any ground to the upside. But if you want to talk specifically since all the corona stuff went down, which is around about the start of March, it has done nothing but move sideways. It's not gained any ground to the upside. It's done nothing but move sideways. Connecting the wicks. Alright, we could connect the wicks here. We could connect the wicks here. Going to enter GPU. Damn it! I didn't get my order in time because we were still talking, so I hate doing this so late. This is going to give me a better entry anyway, so it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. I'm gonna try get in now. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? Instead of setting a stop loss and a target right now, I'm just gonna hit the enter trade. One sec. I'm doing this on my phone, so I need a sec to focus and not talk. Sorry. Right. Yes. Look at that number. I got an awesome entry. Love it. 1 second. I set my whoa, it's already moving up. This is perfect. I'm going to set my stop loss and everything in right now. So just give me a second. No. No, messing this up. It's hard to do a webinar and do this at the same time. It's already going to hit target. This one's already going to move to target pretty quick, it seems. Okay, I was talking a bit. Never mind, it's not going to hit target. I thought it was already up at 2R, but my stop loss is definitely going to go around here, so it's not going to quite hit target yet. My bad. I thought I was going to have a tighter stop, but no, I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to keep these. Sorry, guys. I just need to, I hate having a trade open without a stop loss in. So I need to get these numbers in, and then we're good to continue with the webinar. I'll double check that. Okay, we are good. We're good. Good. All right, so I'm in at the GBPUSD long. I ended up getting a pretty good entry when it's all said and done because it dropped down a fair bit after the initial break. So we're in that one. Nice. Let's see how that one plays out. I did something I kind of shouldn't have with this one, in that I just entered without my stop loss already set. I just kind of dove in. Kind of guessed position size a little bit, which isn't good. I need to adjust the trade a little bit, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity, and I don't advise you guys to just do that, jump in without considering your position size, because it's moving too fast. But you know, I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a rough idea of what my position size should be and all that stuff. So it's just hard to explain. What I'm trying to say is, don't just copy me, because I kind of did something a little silly there. I reacted to a big move, but I kind of have the experience to back up that reaction, right? if that makes sense. And not all of you necessarily have that experience. So you should enter trades more carefully. That's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. So where were we? We were on USDJPY. Some of you guys are in USDJPY. I'm not in on this one. It looks decent, yeah. So there was a breakout here. I'm just going to guess that you guys have probably traded at something roughly like this, which means it's going kind of well right now. So awesome. See how that one plays out. I'll keep it marked on my chart. This GBPUSD trade, this is essentially a breakout trade. Keep in mind with breakout trades, the risk is a lot higher and the win rate is quite low, but the risk to reward ratio is what makes these trades good. We always look to extend our target, so ultimately I want to target about 3R on this one if possible. That's the benefit of these kinds of trades. You have a high risk to reward ratio but a lower win rate. EURUSD is breaking out. Yeah, it is, but I'm just not liking this EURUSD trend right now. Back to Iceman, your question about trends. Look, the thing with trends is it's hard. You could argue for days on what's trending and what's not trending. There's no official definition of what a trend is. When I look at GBP AUD, I don't really see a valid bullish trend on the daily. To me, what's been happening the last few months is what's important. When trading the daily, the scope I'm looking at is the last 2, maybe 3 months. And in the last 2 or 3 months, it's definitively not been trending up. Objectively not been trending up. So that's the scope that I look at when I'm trading the dailies. I don't care about the weekly, what I would consider personally, the weekly trend or the monthly trend when I'm trading the dailies, because at most I'm going to have a trade open for 2 or 3 days. You know, sometimes in a rare occasion, a trade's going to be open for a week or 2, or not even, I can't even remember the last time a trade was open for 2 weeks, but a week, let's say. So to me, all that matters is what's been happening in the last 2 months when I'm trading the daily. So yeah, I don't really care that much about the weekly or this trend. I don't consider it a bullish trend for the purposes of my trading. I don't even see it if you line up the wicks, to be completely honest. Looks like it's breaking the trend right now. I think that was the last. No, there was a question about gold, wasn't there? Gold breakout back on the 1 hour. This is silver. Silver's moving up nicely. Gold's moving up much nicer though. Clear trend on gold. It's a bit of a riskier breakout because it never really pulled back, but it's a breakout nonetheless. Yeah. Honestly, man, I don't really like trading gold on the 1 hour. I've tried it a bunch of times. I'm just not a fan. I'm not going to trade gold on the 1 hour. So yeah, let's keep an eye on GBPUSD, guys. See how this one plays out. Keep an eye on EURGBP and USDCAD for the daily chart trades, which we can see here. And keep an eye on it gets so confusing. I'm sorry, but it gets so confusing because we have like all these things happening across different time frames. But yeah, keep an eye on AUDUSD for a potential long trade. We had GBPUSD as a potential, but that triggered during the analysis, so that one's no longer on the potential list. So the only potential 1 hour chart trade I'm seeing is AUDUSD long. On the daily charts, we got EURGBP USD open, and AUDUSD is a potential long if it breaks this area here, and EURAUD is a potential long if it continues to stall out here. Okay, that is the analysis, guys. Are there any questions? I know this has been a bit of a mess, but this is the first time I've done analysis. First time in a very long time I've done analysis over different time frames like this. Normally we focus on the daily and we go as low as the 4 hour looking for setups, but our main focus is the daily. Now we're using kind of two different types of trading on the 1 hour and the daily. Trades are triggering during the analysis. Things are going crazy. It's a bit more difficult to do the analysis under these conditions. I'll get used to it and I'll get better at it with time. You know, it's just one of those things. The more practice you get in, the better things get. Really happy with that entry on GBPUSD. I was a bit annoyed when it first happened because it broke out and I thought, ah, crap, I'm going to get a pretty late entry here. So much so that I probably wouldn't have entered if the entry was up here. Pretty much definitely wouldn't have entered. But then it sunk back down, so I got that really, really nice entry, which is going to help this trade along quite a bit. You know, a good entry makes such a difference to a trade. Let's say we exit this trade with 2R, right? We exit this trade with 2R because, you know, that's the max we want to get, just because. To get 2R with this later entry that I originally wanted, so this entry here, to get 2R with that, it'd have to move up to here. Now, I could have a slightly tighter stop, which is fine, but even with a pretty tight stop, it would have to move up to here. Now my 2R is going to be hit all the way down here. That's significantly earlier. And if I extend up to here, I'm already hitting 3.2R. So where 2R would have been with my original entry, it would be 3.2R here, which is pretty huge. So that entry was a bit of a lucky break, actually. Problem is, waiting for these entries every time, you're going to miss out on a lot of trades, because a lot of these trades, they break out and they never look back. They never come back down to get you a better entry. They'll just break out, boom, and they're just gone. I probably won't close at 2R, it just depends. I go in depth in the webinars where I discuss these kinds of setups, so I would refer back to them, because going in depth right now is not something I can do. But basically, I just base it on the price action. If it struggles, like for example, the AUD New Zealand trade from yesterday, this one was exited with around about 2R because it had a nice push up initially, but then it just went sideways for ages. So this one, I wasn't really looking for 3R because it was just moving way too slow. So I just kept it at 2R. Now with the GBPUSD one, let's say that in the next hour, it's already pushing up to here. Then I'll see that it has some momentum behind it. And in that case, I'm going to extend that target. And I'm going to move the stop loss up to the break-even point, something like that. So I very much base it on what's going on. And the way to do it is essentially just set alarms, which I have not done yet. You set an alarm before your take profit. That way you can get back to your charts in time and extend it if you want to. It doesn't look like there's any other questions, guys, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you very much for attending. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's webinar. Hopefully we can catch another live trade. We've been catching a lot of live trades in webinars, which is quite exciting. I think this is the 4th time now, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully we catch another one tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you for tomorrow's analysis.